Who do you look to when a family falls apart?
That's a deep subject.
We're going to dig a little deeper on the next Dare to Be Better.
With Ray and Sid.
In 3, in 2. Welcome back to another episode of Dare to Be Better.
With Ray and Sid.
I am Ray Powers.
I am Sydney Hall.
How you doing, Sydney Hall?
I'm doing really well.
You look really well.
Thank you.
I know you're not selling it, but it's okay. You look great, you sound great, and if we're not going to talk about that C word, with the button and the raising of hands.
I know.
We made people nervous just now. We talked about C word. You too. You just looked
I
at
was
me
like, what is that?
Yeah. Oh, is that how the show is going to be?
We're not talking about it because it is very interesting. I'm going to ponder it, really. Because I can wander around here with you all day and not cough.
Right.
And the second I sit down, something happens. So
Red
I'm not doing
fever.
that.
It's red light fever.
I don't know what it is. It's crazy.
We came across a doozy of a subject tonight. Who do you look at when a family falls apart?
Yes, and this was an email.
Yeah.
This was somebody asking the question.
Right. Man, so obviously something's going on, and we're going to keep that person's identity private because obviously, this is a very sensitive subject. I don't know the answer, but if they're coming to us for our opinion. Now, my short answer is, of course, you fact find and you point the finger at the person who's doing the most damage. Now, nobody's going to take the blame because very, very few people are going to say, yeah, it was on me.
Because it's not just one person.
No, of course. Now, if I have to point the finger at anybody, I'm old school. I know this. Some people are going to support me here. Some people are not. You look at the dad. You look at the leader of the family. I'm going to use a very, very antiquated term, head of the home. In a lot of cases, that's still celebrated in this country. And it really is a dad's. The mom keeps the house organized. She does. And she keeps the house running along. But if you don't have a father figure, if you don't have that figurehead, to me, you don't have a home. Maybe that's overly simplistic, and it doesn't work whether you have two moms, two dads, what have you. I'm just talking about all things equal across the board. A dad's job is to bring stability into a home.
So what I would say is there's still a home, because again, I'm a single mother, right? And my family thrives.
Okay.
Okay.
Good, granted, true.
My girls, and I've had to work hard at that though. My girls thrive, they're balanced, they're happy children. So, and that's been done with me raising them, no male in the home. However, this is what I think I'm hearing you say, is that if there is a home with a male and a female, a father and a mother, then in your eyes, the old school eyes, the man is the head of the household. Now, I want to clarify, because I'm old school also, and I'm very obviously professional. I make my own money. I'm out of debt. I'm self-sufficient. All these things, right? But I will tell you, when I come home, though I don't have anyone right now, I would like to come home to where I don't have to be the heavy. Right? If there's a problem, okay, I'm just going to use this example. When I was married, we had an issue with the HOA, with the president. And strangely enough, I was the one sent down to the driveway to talk to this guy. And he said to me, "Where's your husband?" And I go, "Oh, he's up in the house." And he goes, "I don't mean to be rude, Sydney, but if there's a man in this home, that's who I'm dealing with. I'm not going to stand down here and go toe to toe with you, because this is not where you belong." And I didn't take it offensively.
No, he meant it as, I don't want to be the heavy with you.
Yeah. And I agreed with it.
Yeah.
Because I shouldn't have been. Now, if I was, you know what I'm saying, if I was there.
The single mom that you had to.
And I would do it. Yeah. Right. So I am also old school. And I'm just clarifying what I'm hearing from you is that if there is a male, female, mother, father, then he is the head of household. But it doesn't mean, in my eyes, that he overpowers me, overrules me.
No, he's not an overlord, no.
If we have a problem, he takes care of it. In my eyes, right. The man protects not just my body, because a lot of men think, yeah, I'll protect you. If someone breaks into this home, I'll protect you.
Right, which is a given.
Yeah, but he should be protecting the hearts and souls of this household.
Of course.
And that means sometimes he needs to put his pride aside. He needs to be nurturing. He needs to be patient. He needs to be kind, because he is protecting this home, right? And everyone in it. Whereas the mother, again, I believe, of course, she has equal say in things. They discuss things and they come to conclusions together. He doesn't just rule the household, but her gig is to nurture these children. Her job is to make sure that she's the glue to this family.
She keeps everything running.
She's the heartbeat of it, right? And she brings a different strength to this family. And I see women do this often, and I think it's beautiful. Sometimes they'll give a little nudge, to that man and go, hey, this kid over here, he needs a little attention. Or, you're a little heavy-handed in this one. So I think she keeps, if, again, the relationship is balanced and healthy, she'll keep everyone, including the husband, ticking in this home, right? So, again, I'm clarifying what I think I'm hearing from you. Am I correct so far?
Yeah, that's right. It's he's the figurehead. He's, like you said, if anybody has to, like you said, speak to the landlord, speak to anybody, the fuel guy comes, or, the plumber comes, it shouldn't be you in your nightgown, leading him to the pipes or whatever, and also, in addition to being the disciplinarian, being the final word, I'll say, because a lot of times, like, my daughter will take advantage of mommy because if she's a soft touch, whatever, I say it once. If I get involved and I say no, that's all I have to say. Just no. I don't raise my voice. I don't have to.
Right.
I feel it's ineffective to raise your voice.
Right.
It has a lot more weight when you're calm and you're collected, sometimes icy about it. Because if you're emotional, the kids are like, I broke you. I got to you. So you can't. You just have to stay. Right. You have to stay steady with it. But more so than that, you also have to show your, I won't say vulnerable side, but I'll say your more understanding side. And know when to pick your battles, too. Everything can't be a confrontation. Everything can't be a showdown. Right. Sometimes you have to back off. Right. Give them a couple minutes at bedtime. Listen to them. Listen to their grievances. Why do you want extra time to stay up at night? It happened the other night in my house. And she had a legit excuse. Right. And, it can't always be, I run around with an iron fist, like you said, in the club. It's a lot more than that. It's a huge responsibility. Nobody wants to be the heavy. Everybody wants to be their kid's pal, and he or she is happy with me. But then if that's the case, you're not doing your job. Right. Because kids will test you, as you know. And your girls, they respect you because they have to. You had to be, as a single mom, basically mom and dad, which is not fair. But as I mentioned, it is a Herculean task to do it. Yeah. And I just think it's fantastic. And I don't know how single moms do it, or single dads for that matter. Yeah. But, you find your way. In some ways, I am going to tell you, I think it may be easier because I don't have to answer to anyone. Okay. I set my own rules. I have my own game plan. You see what I'm saying? The kids can't play you against dad. That's right. Right. But I will say, if there's, in the neighborhood, for example, you see that there's a family
that's really struggling, okay? Struggling meaning like the family is falling apart.
Right.
And often I'll hear people say, well, what's happening in that household? What's John doing?
Right.
Meaning, not like, is John beating everyone up? Not that. Meaning, is John getting his household together? You see what I'm saying? Because they say that all the time, right? I don't know what the saying is, but stop worrying about everyone else. Get your
Mind your own garden, basically.
Yeah, get your own household together. So if a household is financially falling apart, they're asking what's John up to, right? What's he doing? Is he
gambling?
Yeah, what's he doing? If the family is falling apart often, but if it comes down to like if the children are unhappy or they don't look clean or, you know, those kind of things, or they're not looking like they're nurtured, then you're going to go, what's Susie up to?
If the school notices and the teachers and guidance counselor have to get involved and they have to call home, it's not good.
Yeah, yeah.
A social worker might get a call. These are bad things, yeah.
Yeah, and then I think the mom often is looked at to say, not when I say looked at, it's not pointing a finger as much as it is asking a question. And I do think this is an interesting point because this is what's, okay, you still send your notice to him.
Of course.
Okay. But men, again, I'm old school. I love the man-woman thing. That I don't want to be like a man. I don't want to be as strong as him. I couldn't be even if I wanted to, but I don't want to be as strong as him physically.
Right.
I don't want to be the heavy if I'm in the home. I don't want to have to be the protector of all the bodies, like physically protect these children if there's a man in the home, right? But having said that, that gifts that man with a lot of privilege. It gifts him with privilege of, quote unquote, being the house, head of the household. Doesn't mean he's ruling it. It means he protects the bodies, the souls, the hearts, the minds. And with that gift, it means he needs to be attentive. He doesn't get to be the head of this household and not show time to his wife.
Absolutely.
Consideration to his children. It doesn't mean he does not, that he has a privilege not to show up to the games or to the rehearsals or whatever, right? There's a lot with getting to be the quote unquote, I hate the word, but we're just going to use it because there's no other, head of the household. There are things, requirements, I'm just going to say that, requirements. There are expectations. There are things that man needs to do in order to honor the position of head of the household. And that means he does not get to neglect his wife by not showing her time and attention. But I think that that's a lot of where the hiccup comes in many relationships, because whether a couple wants to admit it or not, that they want head of the household thing, but it's more or less man-woman situation, okay? Even if I have man, woman, somebody's holding that gift of protecting this home. And again, many men think that's just, I'll protect you if someone breaks in. Well, that's not enough. No. Protecting means you don't raise your voice to me as I don't raise my voice to you. Right? You don't spend all your time at work and then come home and go to bed and not spend any time with me, as do I show you courtesy by spending time with you, right? Course. So I just think it's an interesting discussion, and I'm all for the man-woman thing. I wish I could find a different name instead of head of the household. Well,
it just, it gets antiquated because as time goes on, people get more and more sensitive to terms, and the connotation is always, the man beating his chest, or the worst case scenario, he comes home from work, flops on the couch, expects dinner, and does nothing to help.
That's correct.
That's the stereotypical. Yes. Yeah, and that's where I think a lot of people have the problem with. But the true understanding, as far as I see it, of a man is how I described it, You have to be well-rounded, as you also have provided. You know, you have to make time for your family. You can't just be king in name.
Yeah.
You don't. It really, let's face it, it is the mom who controls the quality of the household.
100%. The king, the queen, because she's his equal, but she does run that household.
She makes sure the lunches are packed. She makes sure that the house looks good. Usually she, even if you're home equally or you both equally work, usually it's the mom who looks around and says, the bathroom needs cleaning, because we're not looking at that.
Yeah, and the kid needs to go to this doctor appointment, and we have parent-teacher conference on this day.
You're much better at running the house. I will give you 100 out of 100 there.
Yeah.
Mom's, the dad has his role, and the mom is usually the busybody and the organized one.
Yeah, and she knows, where your kids need to be. Everyone's organized to get there. The rides, the food, the clothing, the doctor's appointments.
Which is good because you tend to overthink everything, so it's a good match.
Yeah.
Women in general.
And we multitask.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
You've got ideas spinning in your head all day, and you're like, I need to do this and this and this. We're very one at a time oriented.
Yeah.
We can multitask, but we'd rather not.
Yeah, and
rather finish a project.
As a mom, I'm looking at each child individually, their personalities,
Sure.
the things that they're struggling with, and I need to pay attention to what kind of activities is best for this child opposed to that child. So I just want to make it really clear to the listeners that and I know you are not, I'm not saying that the man has more power in this household.
Right.
I'm not saying that the woman bows down to him, because that man-woman thing, both are vital.
Sure.
Both are extremely important.
Of course.
But I agree with you. I think that's where the hiccup comes in, is when that guy goes to work, he comes home, plops down on the sofa, he expects his dinner to be cooked, then he gets up, he doesn't help with anything, expects his plate to be put into the dishwasher, he goes out, someone brings him a beer or whatever, right?
His slippers, the old school pipe,
And then maybe he goes and does some guy stuff, maybe he mows the lawn, but that woman has been doing everything
since she
typically.
woke up.
Yeah, and there's no time off. You
don't get a day off as a mom.
No, and I'm going to tell you, because I've had both. Working outside the home is much easier.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's obviously more fulfilling because I'm raising my children if I'm in the home. Right. But it is much easier working outside the home because I'm at least dealing with people who maybe care about my opinion. Because in that home, they don't care.
The kids don't respect you, and there's no sympathy from the children.
No.
Toward mom or dad.
No.
No empathy.
24/7.
They need what they need, and that's it. So, so that does broaden it a bit. If a household falls apart, you do make a very, very strong statement for looking at mom. My mom told me that too, now that I think about it. She's like, you leave that house and you become little thugs. They're not going to look at you. They're going to say, who the hell raised this kid?
Yeah.
And it's mom who's raising the kid. Dad might be the overall, like I said, there's that taboo head of the household tag, but the mom is the one who's the general manager, the one who's doing it all. Yeah.
Yep. But if the whole home is falling apart, like the family itself is falling apart, right? The marriage is falling apart. The children are falling apart. Often they look at that man like,
get your home in order.
Yeah. What's happening here? Yeah.
Yeah. If I had to pick one, that's who I'd pick. Just because, if...
you mean as in who we looking at? Yeah,
all the more reason, if mom has all these tasks, that clears the way for dad to make sure that these things are being covered. The mortgage is paid and you're not in debt. You don't, I don't know, the kids are home on time and they're in bed. You have to enforce those things. Yeah. Like I said, my daughter will test the both of us, but she knows not to test me very far.
Right, because there's boundaries. You set boundaries with her.
And I'm very, very fair. And she's my little girl and the apple of my eye and
I know.
my only daughter.
And really, she has you wrapped right around.
She does, but I have to, there's certain things that are non-negotiable. Homework and bedtime are two of them. As far as I want an extra, well, it used to be toy. Now it's, God knows what it is. It's money and clothes now. But I spoil her rotten because she's my only one.
Yeah.
But there's that
And she's a
balance.
girl.
Yeah, of course.
And you're her dad.
Right. So she gets basically whatever she wants and whatever I can get her. But, we do set a couple things aside if she wants an iPad or something like that. And so let's go 50-50. You bankrolled a whole lot of birthday money. You probably have more money than I do right now. So, yeah, we'll do things like that.
Yeah.
Teach her the value of money.
Good.
Chores. And, again, if something's not done, if homework isn't finished, well, give me your phone.
Yeah.
Exactly. You finish. And you go to bed when you finish it.
Yeah.
And then you're waking up on time. And you're
then
not
you
staying
park
home from school.
that phone and your computer in my room.
You mentioned parking the phone. It's a great
Telling
idea.
you, it works. Because the first part, I didn't want my oldest. Okay, she went away to special, I don't know, for highly effective students. She went to a.
Oh,
Thank you.
20 minutes in. That's not bad. We
I
only
know, it
had
was
one.
pretty dang good. Into DC, and she was 10 or 11 at the time, and I was doing really great she wasn't going to have an iPhone early, blah, blah, blah. When she went there, they required her to have a phone so they could get a hold of her, that kind of thing.
Of course.
So, so then when Jordan came along, then it's what we're doing. But the error I made early on is I didn't park those phones. Once I started doing that, and people kicked at that. They kicked and spit at that. But once I just said, look, those things, this is how much time you get during the day on it. And this is the time that it comes, like at 8 p.m. That phone comes in my room at 8 p.m. You need to prepare yourself, pull your thoughts together, the phone and computer. If you complain about it, each time you complain, there's a day added on. So you just quit complaining. And now it's just a habit.
Like the vice principal. One more day of detention.
That's right. You go ahead, and I would say this. See how I'm not getting angry? It's because it makes me so happy when you guys complain about not bringing your phone in. Because I'm going to get a day for every time you complain. And so now, my oldest is gone, but my 16-year-old, she parks that phone every night. No complaints. Yeah, it works fabulous. It's just getting over the hump.
Right.
Yeah.
That is, again, as the single parent, you have to have that kind of control, and you have to be able to maintain that respect. Because once you lose that respect, it's over.
Gosh.
We talked about this, I know, earlier. But, if your threats have to have teeth.
Yeah, you can't just give empty threats.
No.
Or else they catch on quick.
Right. It's like, she's not going to take it. Don't worry. When's the last time she took your phone? She keeps threatening it, But yeah, do it. You say
do
it
it
once. Right.
They get it.
You may give a second warning. I'm serious. And that's it. And you have to follow through.
You must. Or else you're going to get eaten up alive for the rest of your raising of children life.
And it's tough because now they're pouting, they're crying, they're carrying on, they're having a tantrum. But it's that or later on in life where they looked at you and said, why didn't you do this for me?
Yeah.
And they will.
Yeah. So.
Kids are, they're not dumb.
No.
And they're very, very astute. They know what's going on in the home.
Well,
and you can't snow them.
They want boundaries.
And of course they do.
They want rules. They do want nurturing, of course, and attention. And
But they want the structure.
Absolutely, because no one wants to go to a job where everyone's like, it's a free-for-all. And then all of a sudden you're getting in trouble left and right because you've done something wrong. Well, I thought we just got to do whatever we wanted to do. And now you're telling me there's rules?
Like Lord of the Flies. Just anarchy on the island.
Didn't we just talk about that?
Right.
Yeah.
Just lawlessness. It's like, this is what happens when there is no leader, when there's nobody, in charge of the disciplinarian role.
And when there's no consequences.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Then the consequences are dire because you see how bad it gets.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was talking about that the other day. My daughter didn't want to go to school. I don't feel good again. It's that,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm aware.
Gagging, I'm this, I'm that. And it's like, well, when would you like to go to school next? Why don't you set your schedule for me and you tell me when you'd like to go. Give me the mornings you want to wake up and go, and we'll do it that way. We'll do it your way. What, 8 days? When would they get there? I couldn't imagine.
Yeah.
Would they? Some kids would never get there.
No, never.
Some kids love school and would go every day. That's the minority, the bookworms. They're going to be the next Steve Jobs of the world.
Yeah.
And
there's the rest of them.
Yeah, the one kid we want to go on Tuesday because it's taco day. Cut every other class.
Yeah.
When do you want to take a bath? When would you like to eat your Brussels sprouts? You know,
it's crazy. Well, there's it was on the radio the other day where a kid he was in bed. So his dad had gone to work, came home, forgot something, and his kid's still in bed. And the kid's like, no, whatever. They had a snow day today. There's no school. So the dad goes, oh, cool. You want to go to a movie together? The kid goes, yeah. So he gets him in the car. All of a sudden, he pulls up in front of the school. And he goes, and you're out. He goes, you see, there actually is school. Toodles.
Didn't get his movie.
It was very smart of the dad because the kid didn't kick and scream, right?
Right.
Just got in the car. And there he is in front of the school.
And now I'm leaving you here.
Go to school.
Unbelievable. I like creative dads like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where you turn it around on them and you basically, you give the kid enough rope.
Yeah.
I know.
It's beautiful.
But your kids, your girls turned out good.
Yeah, they're thriving. It's taken a lot, though.
Of course, it's never easy. Even the good ones are never easy.
Yeah. Yep, but it's always worth it,
Sure.
If you put in the time with them, it's a freaking war. But then you see them thriving and happy and balanced, and they actually are grateful.
Of course. Later on, they don't hate you. Yeah, if they don't hate you during their teen years, then you're probably failing miserably.
You're probably not doing something right.
No. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it takes a while. And I had a stepdad growing up, in addition to a father, because my mom remarried when I was like 11, 12 years old.
Right.
And I immediately gave him all kinds of hell, and I made his life miserable. And he was making my life miserable, too. I mean, he didn't want to marry a woman with kids. It's like, well, then why did you?
Yeah.
You raised 2 kids of your own. You know how tough it is.
Right. So why'd you do it?
Why'd you take 2 more on?
Right.
But, and you're not going to ship us off to military camp or whatever. My mom's not going to allow that.
Right.
So there was that constant struggle, for mom's attention and love and, whatever. But in the end, it all worked out.
Yeah.
I came back as a young adult, and I recognized how hard it was for him. He walked into a no-win situation.
Yeah.
A woman with 2 boys. Talk about the ultimate baggage. In the early 80s, that was unheard of.
That's a mess.
I mean, he was an absolute prince for stepping into that role.
Yeah. Yeah, really.
To be flawed and to, my God, you did it. I mean, yeah, everyone else takes a step back, Even on the dating sites. I mean, a couple of years ago when the kids are young, it's got to be like you're poison ivy at that point. Nobody wants to touch you. You have how many kids? Living at home?
Oh, there's this one guy. He had 7 children. 7
by himself?
Children.
Oh, he's hunting for a wife.
Well, not just a wife, but a mother for his kids.
Exactly, right. That's what I mean.
Yeah. And I was chatting with him. He's like, Sydney, you're the first one that's chatted with me. I'm like, yeah.
I believe it.
I know why. And I would just let him know up front. I'll talk with you, but if you're looking for a mother for these children, I'm the wrong one.
And I feel bad, genuinely bad for like a widower who gets like, not stuck with his kids, but now he has, there was a guy in my neighborhood who had 3 girls and 2 boys.
Oh my God.
Mom died early. The kids were in grade school. And I felt terrible because now this poor guy, he didn't divorce her. He didn't, he didn't lose her by being stupid.
Right.
She just died.
Well, I think they get lucky. Out in Utah, you're going to get lucky.
Yeah.
There's plenty of women that really love being a mom. You know what I'm saying?
This is Brooklyn.
And I think out here it would be a little more difficult.
Yeah. Although they were Italian, and the Italian moms do tend to, gravitate towards larger families. They're not afraid of large families. Mm-hmm. And he was a good man. Mm-hmm. And, as Italian as they came.
Wow.
I went to school with one of his daughters, and that's how I knew about it.
Wow.
I heard her mom died, and I'm like, oh my God. It's 6, 7 years old. I realize the gravity of...
Oh, my gosh.
You have brothers and sisters now with no mother, and that poor man's got no wife.
That is tragic.
Yeah. So...
Yeah.
But, yeah, I guess to sum it all up, I guess there is a lot of ways that blame can go. Even the kids can ruin a family.
Oh, yeah.
We're blaming the mother and father, but if you have, like, bona fide problem children, you know, these little bastards running around, they're ungrateful and they had the best life. You can spoil them, obviously, by giving them too much.
100%. And so when I see that, I don't blame the children. That's a parenting error.
It's still a parenting error.
That's correct. Those children are only behaving a way because that's what they've been taught to behave. Whatever that is, if they're entitled, if they're takers, if they're thoughtless, you know, if they're lazy, whatever those things are.
It's the oldest adage, spare the rod, spoil the child.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know what that means. It's old school, meaning if you don't discipline them, you're going to ruin them. They're going to run amok, and now you've got a problem on your hands that you created by ignoring it. Mm-hmm. But you know something? We have gone through 30 minutes again. What?
Yeah. Just orating and giving our opinions, our 2 cents for what it's worth. Mm-hmm. And
I'm sure, I don't know, it's probably going to be interesting because you look at us and you probably wouldn't guess that both of us would, again, it's because I can't think of a better word, but head of the household, that man-woman thing. Mm-hmm. But I like the man-woman thing, and I'm a very strong woman. I stand my own ground. You know, when I'm out working, I'll stand toe-to-toe with a 285-pound man.
Sure.
But when I come home, I want the man to do the man stuff. Yeah. I want to do the woman stuff and work as a team. But I do have to say one really quick thing. Mm-hmm. There is a little trick here. So if a woman does want a man to spend more time with her emotionally, I forgot to say
that's okay.
Okay.
Oh.
Thank you. If she will let him, allow him, welcome him, and encourage him to go out and do whatever he does, like fish or hike or whatever. If she really encourages that, what the man does is he goes and he builds up his testosterone, right? Builds it up, feels like a guy. And then all of a sudden, he has to release the testosterone, and that's just not sex, right? Sorry. So now he's going to look for her. He wants to spend more time with her. He wants to give his energy to her. So then he comes back. He's around her. When he starts being depleted of testosterone again, if she just will encourage him, let him go do whatever he does, he'll go out, ride his bicycle, right? Whatever. He'll build up his testosterone. Same thing. It's a little bit of a secret because I have 2 girlfriends that try to keep their husbands from, like, he doesn't need to go play golf. Mm-hmm. He doesn't need to go ride his bicycle. Well,
he needs the outlets. Of course he does.
Let him go do that. He's going to build all that stuff up, that testosterone, and he'll come back.
In my house, it's God, father, mother, child, and everybody in that, I'll call it a hierarchy, for lack of a better term. Everyone's irreplaceable. I mean, everybody's important, everybody is valuable there, and everybody has a role. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, everybody has a different interpretation of their family, a lot of ways to make it work. Mm-hmm. But, you know, I think if you have the basics covered, you know, you stand a good chance of succeeding. Mm-hmm. So we hope we answered your question, and we hope everything will be okay in your family. And if there's any more advice we can give you, I mean, at this point, I'd see a professional, obviously, but, you know, if this made you feel even a little better or encouraged you.
But just remember, the woman is equal to the man. I just have to clarify that.
Sid's going to clarify that.
Yeah, it's king and queen, and many queens are extremely powerful.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Always remember, kids, dare to be better.
With Ray and Sid. Bye.
Hey, thanks for checking us out. If you enjoyed the show, like the video, subscribe to this channel, and please tell your friends. We'd also love it if you headed over to daretobebettershow.com for tons of cool photos, extras, and a chance to shop for some sweet show swag. Say that 5 times fast. I could barely say it once. If you keep coming, we'll keep delivering. Thanks again.